Hey, how's it going? This is TheArgonaut, and we are here in a little response video to the RV gaming video I posted last week. You all had a bunch of questions, and I figured I would take the time to answer them. So, without further ado, we're just going to start at the bottom and work my way up. This is totally off the cuff, nothing's rehearsed, etc. We're just going for it. Alright, first of all, yes, nice doggo indeed. Alright, so somebody asked how we do our laundry. So just laundromat, totally simple. We go in town to do that. But sometimes, if need be, we have detergent at home and we can just do it old school in a little bin with water and stuff. Yeah, someone asked also where we are from. That I don't mind answering. I am originally from New England. I grew up in Massachusetts. Currently living in the American Southwest. I'll leave it at that. A lot of people were wondering the decision to live in the RV. Well, it was sort of a plethora of different reasons, but the couple that stand out is one, we were tired of paying rent, and we wanted to own something. We weren't really in a position to buy a house, so we figured we would do something a little smaller that we could afford, but that way, we could eventually own it and not have to pay rent. So that is precisely what we did, and we will have the RV paid off actually in about 2 months, which is great. So then, sort of living rent-free in a way. And eventually, when we want to get a house, when we do want to get a house, we can sell the RV and pocket that cash. So. The other one of the other main reasons is we just really love camping. We camp a lot in our spare time, and this is a great way to kind of feel like we're a lot more in nature. Not really just stuck in an apartment complex, and it's just it's hard to beat sometimes when you step outside right from your house and you get a beautiful sunrise or sunset, and you're in the trees in the woods, and there's not really many people around. So that was a big appeal as well. Obviously there's some difficulties that we deal with, but I think it's definitely been worth it. Okay, let's see. And the land we are on currently is not ours. So we park the RV on public land, Bureau of Land Management, public land. So what that means is nobody really owns it, I guess. The public owns it. So the only kind of caveat is usually places have you have a limit of 14 days before you have to move. So let's just leave it at that. We totally, yeah. Totally don't stay more than 14 days in one spot. Anyways, let's see here. Somebody asked again also what laptop I have. That's just a Asus ROG Strix gaming laptop thing. I don't know the exact model number and stuff, but it does the job. Let's see. Oh, how long we've been RV living. This would be, we're coming up on our, well, we already had our second year in May. So what is it? It's July now. So a little over 2 years. So pretty good amount of time. We're not sick of it yet. So still enjoying it. Oh yeah. And, well, Izzy, shout out to Izzy, asked how often do I move around? And we move around, it really depends, Alright, so technically, yeah, we're supposed to be moving every 14 days, but a lot of people stay around a lot longer than that. So, we probably move every month or so, just for some variety's sake, to be honest. It's, where we live, we can get a lot of variety in our natural setting. So, it is kind of fun to move every once in a while. We can be a little more in the woods, a little more in the fields, or a little more in a sort of pseudo-deserty setting. So that's about, probably about a month or so we move. Need to find out more about your dog. Yeah, I mean, that's Potato. Potato is her name. She will be 5 years old in September. We've had her for about 4 years. We actually used to live in Washington and we got her from a rescue up there. And, you know, she's just a scrappy little spunky terrier, likes to bark at things, and if she's not barking, she's probably sleeping, like right now. Any interesting wildlife where you're at? Yeah, it sort of varies depending on where we're parked, but for the most part, we get a lot of mule deer, which are kind of cute looking, to be honest. Excuse me. They have those big old floppy ears. We do... I haven't seen it from my RV, but I have seen elk nearby too. There's a really big elk herd that sometimes wanders into a nearby sort of drier lake bed, which is pretty cool. I mean, elk are really pretty neat looking. We also do get some antelope, which is interesting, and a lot of birds, lots of ravens, and see some red-tailed hawks every once in a while, a whole bunch of turkey vultures, coyote for sure. Nothing else really. You know, nearby in the mountains, I have seen black bear, but they're not really hanging out wherever we camp. And we have also seen a mountain lion over on the border of Utah and Arizona, and we were on a road trip once, which is pretty cool. We were actually driving, and it was probably, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night. We're really tired, and we're looking for a spot to camp, and we're driving on the highway, and something just runs across the highway. And at one point, like nose to tail, it was basically the length of a whole lane of highway. And we're like, what? Is that just a mountain lion that just ran across the highway? So yeah, it was pretty neat. They're a little spooky, but that's the only time I've ever seen one. So thankful for that. Aside from that, nothing else too crazy around here. You know, we get tarantulas, which is kind of fun, but they're actually pretty cute, and they just move slowly. Haven't seen any rattlesnakes, which has been good, though I've heard them. Creepy. Yeah, someone asked why I wanted to live in an RV and do YouTube. Well, I was doing YouTube before we decided to move into an RV. So it was more about how can I adapt the RV living to allow me to continue to do YouTube. So I think I've been decently successful with that. Oh, and then how far is the commute? Well, depends on where in town we're trying to go. And also depends on where we're parked, you know. Like right now where we're at, to get into the nearest like downtown area is about 30 minutes, which is pretty far. But typically we're usually looking around 20 minutes or so for us to, you know, commute in to work, etc. All right, I think that does it for most of the questions. So yeah, thanks for the questions there. I thought this was kind of fun to just have a moment to chit chat and talk about, you know, real life instead of just Total War. So yeah, well, thank you so much for watching and listening, and I will see you in the next one.